Right, I'm back with the new switches. I've already got them out of the pack, so nice new chrome switch covers. So let's get them the right way around and clip. Just gotta be careful how you put these. You've got to be, as I said already, you've got to be gentle with these because they are dead easy to break. Even though they're like plastic and they are pliable, you've got to go steady with them and make sure you're getting them on the right way, which obviously that's the right way with the arrow pointing that way. Now I'm trying to be gentle with this, but I know I'm blocking your view. That's it. That side, that's it. That's that. That's the indicator button on, and you want it so it presses and lets go. You can work it a few times just to loosen it up a bit, because sometimes these can be a little bit tight. So, but you want it so it lets go every time without any issues. So next one I'll put on is going to be the lights. Dip and main. It's got the what do you call it on, so again just get them over, and it's a pain getting them started, that's the thing. So I'm just going to get my little electricals. You've got to bend them out, but you've got to be careful, because if you bend them too much you snap them. They're not, for some reason they're not as pliable, these chrome covered ones. They're not as pliable as just the plain black. Right, so high, low, oh, I see how that works. Right, and the next one obviously is the horn. No, that's the other indicator, side indicator. Thinking to myself, it's looking a bit big. Yeah, that's just the horn and the trip. So, same thing, exactly the same thing, just take it steady. You're going to put a little bit of pressure on, but not enough that you're going to just snap it, and then just gently lever the... If you're rough with these you will break them. And sometimes it's just getting them started, which is the pain in the butt. Bugger off. Horn, trip. Right, so that's all them on. And what I'll do is I'll just make sure everything's going to work. Put the key handy. I say key, it's one of them proximity fob things. So I've got it in my pocket, that should be fine, it's close enough. So turn ignition on. Right. So lights are on. They're on high. Back on low. Right, so it's not thinging in there. I'll have to have a look in that trip, make sure that the trip. Look at lights on low. Miles. A. B. 1, 2, 4. Clock. Gear RPM. Cool. And then indicator. Knock that off. Right, so the only thing I can see at the minute that isn't working is on the other one. It seemed that you could flash your main beam, so I'm just going to have a look in the other, the black housing. I'll just knock that back off. Right, I'll just knock you off a minute. I'll be back in a sec. Right. Took this switch back off here and had a bit of a look at it, and what you've got, I don't know if you're going to be able to see on there, you might be able to, you've got like high and low, and on this one you've got high, low and flash. So these are actually two different switches. You know, you're not going to, I don't think you'll be able to see in there, but inside the black one there's two like little bits right in sort of in the middle, and there isn't on the chrome one. Now what happens is, I'll zoom in a bit on this so you can see a bit better. Oh, do that. These bits here, you can, if I can show it, they're pressed down. Now they're loose, and obviously that's your high and low buttons there. Now, because they're not sitting in a clip inside the chrome one, it doesn't work so well. So right, I've also the battery lights flashing at me, so it might go off in any second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the black one back on for now, because I've just been in and ordered a new chrome one that's correct. So I don't lose these pins, because these pins can actually come out. I'm just going to put the black one back on temporarily. So what I'll do is I'll knock you off, put this back on, and then I'll change the battery and I'll come back. Okay. Right. I've fitted the black cover, switch cover, back on the other side, temporary for now. So I'm going to start stripping this other side down, and then once this is all stripped down, we can then get the wire blown through for the heated grips. So first thing I want to do, same as on the other side, I'm going to take the mirror off, which also holds the indicator on. So I'll just loosen that off, turn it the right way would help. Right, that's the, what you can see, that's the indicator loose, so I'll just hang that down. Just be careful, as I said earlier, don't let it bang against. Right, take the mirror off, put the nut on. Right, So what I'll do now is I'll undo these. That's weird. That pitch is jumping up and down, yet that's not moving. Huh. Yeah, anyways, I'll undo these two, which will allow me to pull the master cylinder off. Right, I'm just going to pull this right round, and hopefully I'll have to adjust the camera again. Right, I'll just adjust the camera. Right, so I'll undo that completely, undo the bottom one completely, because obviously that'll be getting replaced with some cover. Right, so that's the front pedestal cover off. So the brake lever just pulled away, and I'm just gonna, I don't really want to hang this, so what I might do is just put that back there for a second. What I might do is just pull it to one side and just cable tie it on up here, so that it's out of my way, it's temporary, but it's not sitting upside down. So I'll just sit that there for a minute, if it'll stay there, and grab a cable tie. Now at the moment I haven't bought a new reservoir for it. I've just bought like one of them cover kits. It's going to be an ongoing thing with this with the Deuce because there's a bit of work to do. Right, that's just sat there. It's out of my way for sorting on all this lot, so that's grand. Yeah, there's a lot of work to do on this Deuce, but it's going to be done over a period of time. There's like the engine covers, the sort of like the cone points cover, cam cover, the gearbox covers, the rocker covers, the tappet blocks, the primary cover. They're all getting replaced with chrome stuff because at the minute they're just polished aluminium. Bits like this, the reservoir, eventually it'll be replaced with a proper fancy chrome setup, but at the minute I am using like these chrome cover kits that just sit over the top, which for now it'll be fine, just to give it a little bit of bling on it. So right, so next thing, obviously I've got to take this lot apart, so I'll just change my Torx bit. I think I've got the right one. No, I haven't. It's probably the same one that I've just had on. Nope. Right, is that one? It's the baby. Right, so undo the top screw, undo the bottom one. Dropping the screw. Just got to be careful that you, unlike me, just don't let it drop all over the floor. Right, that should enable me to take that off. Take the right way up. Now then, what I've got to do is, you can just see them there at the bottom of the picture, these rubber covers. I've got to take them off and then give alt slack on the throttle so that I can undo the throttle cables. I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly. That's better. Right. Roll the rubbers back. And then I just need a couple of small spanners just to take the lock nut off. There's not on there. It would help if I got the right size spanner to start with. No, that's not it neither. I need to get more organised. I need to have a sort out where all my tools are. I've got tools laying about all over the place at the minute. Bad habit of mine. Using my tools and not putting them back straight away. Right, so I've loosened off the lock nut. Just wind that off to its full extent. Do that on both of them. Doesn't take much, and then just wind them in, and it gives you maximum slack on your cables, so it makes your cables easy to get off. That's one off there. I'll just take the little brass bit off the end of the cable so I don't lose it. And then hopefully should be able to pull that one out, which I have just done. And again, take the little little brass bit off the nipple, and as you can see there, that's that off, and also that's your throttle. Obviously the throttle's not glued like the other side, because it wouldn't make a very good throttle if it was. Right, next thing is undo the screws, which I think I've got the bit in my pocket for that. Just need the screwdriver. Undo the screws that hold the switchgear into the housing. And once the housing's separate, once the switchgear is taken out of the housing, I can I'll then take the off, the throttle cables. And before I swap any switches over, I want to make sure there isn't anything different about these ones on this side. I think this side is just basic. I think it's just your hazard control and on, off and start sort of thing. I've also got to take my switch out, but I've also got to make sure that doesn't just fly to bits and pull its end off. Right, as you've just seen there, taking off the mount, I've took the switches off. There's a bit here. I was just going to say, just be careful that doesn't fall off, but it isn't, it's clipped on, so it shouldn't just fall off. So that's the switchgear loose. Also the bits off that's the clip that holds the switchgear in place, and that's off your throttle stop. You know, on these they've got like a windy up bit on the bottom of the housing, so you can use it as almost like a cruise control. So just take them off. But now the switchgear is off, if I just put that up there out of the way, we're onto getting the cables off. Now this is just a case of waggling it round until it pops like that. You just get it in the right place and it just pops out. Don't try and pull them straight out, it tends not to work properly doing that. So sort of waggle them like that, not excessively, I mean you're not trying to snap them, but just waggle them ever as you bring them round, because it closes the little pin and pulls it through. And that's the bit I was on about, where you can wind, comes through onto a pin in the centre there and pushes a pad against your throttle so that your throttle doesn't shut. So if you're on a long journey, say on a motorway, and you're just pootling along at 70 miles an hour, just lock your throttle on. Not lock it tight that you can't undo it with your hand, but enough that it can just hold itself on. And then you've got it, as I say, it's like as if it's on cruise control. So that's the throttles and everything off. So next thing I'm going to do, well, I'm actually going to knock you off for a minute. I'm just going to clean my hands up because there's fucking grease all over the spot again. Should have put my gloves on. Right, I'm just going to clean my hands up and then I'll be back. Right, I'm going to change all these switch covers over, same as on the other side, but there's these ones it's just on off. The only difference is from like an earlier model is you've got your hazard, which doesn't work while the ignition's off. Yeah, you've got your hazard switch on there, but that's also your start button. So I'm going to flip all these off, put the chrome covers back on, and then I'll come back. I've been a bit longer than expected coming back from the last clip because my phone went. I ended up on phone for ages with my mate. But while I was on phone with him, you see here, just nattering away, I pushed this through the handlebars, so it's actually out for reach over. It's actually just sticking out the other end. What I'll do when I come to put the bar wiring on is I'll pull the wiring right through, attach it to this obviously. Now what this is, if anyone's interested, I used to use a piece of like string and I used to tie it to a ball that would fit into the handlebars. Not a ball, it was like almost like a cotton, well it was actually a lump of sponge, but made it into like, I can't remember what you call them, you know, like you get them cotton buds, they were like at a rounded end. Well, it was basically like I'd made a giant one of them and I had it fastened to the end of the string, and I used to shove that in the end of the handlebar, shove a load of string in behind it, poke it in as far as I could with a screwdriver, but then I used to seal the end with my airline and just fire the airline, and it used to fire string right through to the end. Sometimes you knot up and have to start again, but I was fitting a new dash cam into someone's car for them, and this is the power lead off the old dash cam. I just cut the end off it where it plugged into the dash cam, and because it's sort of nice and flexible but still stiff enough that when you're pushing it, it doesn't just crumple up on itself, it's ideal for feeding through handlebars. I still need to cut this end off, I just haven't got around to it yet, but I probably will cut this end off now, because I've just realised the way I fed it through, the plugs on the end where I need to pull it through from this side, so that if I fasten the wires on here off the throttle grip, I've got to pull the wire in through that way. So that's the end with this on. So now I am going to cut the end off, because I should have fed it from the other end so that this end was sticking out the throttle side. But yeah, if you ever come across an old dash cam fitting kit or out like that that's not going to be used anymore, the cable, it's absolutely perfect for shoving through handlebars, because when you come to corners you can just sort of waggle it and it just pushes itself around the corners, but as I say, it stays stiff enough that you can just feed it through. So, but yeah, that's what I've ended up. I did that while I was on phone to my mate, you know, one hand up to me lug with the phone and the other hand just feeding that through. So when I come back to it, I'll show you it all anyways when I get there. But as I say, I'm just gonna flip all these off, get the chrome ones on. I'll knock you off for now. You've seen how I did it on the other side. It's exactly the same on here. So I'll swap these over and then I'll show you them chrome, and then we'll get cracked on with pulling some wiring through for the heated grips. Keep that sat up there. Right, so I'm going to knock you off for a minute and then I'll come back. Right, I've got the all the chrome ones on. So you've got your on, like, run, off. That one's your hazards, that one's your start button, and then obviously indicator, and they're all just release themselves. So the start is just release, hazards is just self-release, and obviously that's a click one anyways for on off. So that's them done. So what I'll do now is I might put another cable tie on that to stop it falling over, because I think that cable tie slipped, and we'll get the grip sorted out with the wiring on, and we'll get that fed through the bars. So I'll just knock you off for now. I'll come back in a couple of minutes.